Hi there, this is Caroline from the Top Notch Sewing Centre. Today I'm going to be doing some reverse tie-dye, and I'm going to be doing two different techniques. So one technique I'll be using is the spray technique, and the other one I'll be using is the ripple technique, which can also be used with traditional tie-dye. So let me show you what you need. Firstly, you will need a coloured t-shirt. With the bleach, you'll be taking the colour out. You can see that there are areas where I have wet the t-shirt and left it damp. The areas that I've wet are the areas that I will be doing the ripple effect on. The bits that I've left dry, which is at the top, will be for doing the spray technique. Let me show you what else you need. You will need some bleach. I find that thick bleach works best, and I usually dilute it, so have a jug handy. Dilute the bleach 2 to 1, so 2 portions of bleach to 1 portion of water. The other thing you will need is some gloves. Make sure that they don't have holes in them. If you are doing the spray technique, you basically place templates onto the t-shirt and spray around it. So I've made a couple of templates out of cardboard, so have available whatever you would like to spray around. It could be a shape or an object or something like letters. So let's get started. Lay your t-shirt flat on a desk or a table and make sure that you have covered the table with plastic. I'm going to start off by doing the spray technique on the top of the shirt where it's dry. And in order for it not to transfer to the back, I'm going to place a plastic packet inside the shirt. I'm then going to take my templates and place them on the shirt in the area that I want them. And just make sure that the plastic is underneath all the areas that you will spray. When you have done that, put your gloves on. And with your bleach poured into a spray bottle, you can buy these in most supermarkets or hardware shops. So your diluted bleach is put into an empty spray bottle, and then you're just going to spray around the area where your templates are. And the more you spray, so the more bleach that touches the fabric, the lighter the effect will be. Also, try and spray from above as opposed to sideways so it doesn't go underneath your templates. And another thing, make sure that you work in a well ventilated area, so windows open and doors open if you can, and remove any pets. Leave the templates where they are for a short while. While that bleach develops, I'm going to fold up the sleeves and the hem for my ripple effect. I'm going to do small folds in the fabric, like concertinaed together in small folds, and I'm going to do that up until the level of where my templates are. So while you are folding, you are taking the front and the back fabric together and just holding it as flat as possible. So when that is done and your fabric is folded, I'm now going to make a wave effect from left to right by folding the fabric the other way. I'm going to remove the templates now. Okay, so again, like an accordion or a concertina at the bottom. Hold that in place with some of the rubber bands. Again, keeping it as flat as possible. So the hem has now got the rubber bands around it, it's folded up, and I'm going to do the same with both sleeves. I actually find it easier to fold the fabric without wearing gloves. It's quite a nightmare with the gloves on, so because I'm not touching the bleach yet, I've taken my gloves off. So at this point, I'm ready to pour my bleach on. So I have my bleach, my diluted thick bleach, in a jug. And when doing reverse tie-dye or even normal tie-dye techniques where you'll be pouring the dye on, I find it very helpful to use a metal grate from the oven. So one with a stand. So basically, as you're pouring the liquid on, it's not sitting under the t-shirt, it's actually draining away. So I will place the areas that I'm going to pour bleach onto that metal grate, and then basically pour it on in the desired effect. So it is important, after we've poured the bleach on, we're going to place it as it is into a separate plastic packet and leave it for probably 2 to 3 hours for that bleach to develop. So we're going to do the front first. So I've done the front. I'm now going to flip my t-shirt around carefully and do the reverse. So the bleach is draining away underneath, which is why it's quite helpful to have this metal grate for the t-shirt. So that's the bleach all poured on. I'm now going to place the t-shirt into a separate packet and then we wait. Okay, the bleach has been developing for about 4 hours now, so let me show you how it's looking. I'm going to rinse the t-shirt really well and then give it a wash, and I will show you again once it has dried. Right, so I was a bit worried that the bleach hadn't taken very well on the t-shirt that I did, but it has now been washed and dried, and this is the result. So actually I'm really happy with how that turned out. So remember, the lettering over here was done with the spray bottle onto a dry t-shirt, and then the hemline, that's the back, was done onto the damp t-shirt, and the bleach was poured on. So that's the sleeves. But overall, I'm really happy with how that came out, so I'm really pleased.